Hello everyone. Today we're doing lesson 7, I See Only the Past, and we are reading from the text, the correlating material for today's lesson, which is chapter 1, The Meaning of Miracles, and we're doing section 4, The Escape from Darkness, and section 5, Wholeness and Spirit. Today we get to do 2 sections. So today we're going to start here on the text like we've been doing. Section 4, The Escape from Darkness. The escape from darkness involves 2 stages. First, the recognition that darkness cannot hide. This step usually entails fear. Second, the recognition that there is nothing you want to hide, even if you could. This step brings escape from fear. When you have become willing to hide nothing, you will not only be willing to enter into communion, but will also understand peace and joy. Holiness can never be really hidden in darkness, but you can deceive yourself about it. This deception makes you fearful because you realize in your heart it is a deception, and you exert enormous effort to establish its reality. The miracle sets reality where it belongs. Reality belongs only to spirit, and the miracle acknowledges only truth. It thus dispels illusions about yourself and puts you in communion with yourself and God. The miracle joins in the atonement by placing the mind in the service of the Holy Spirit. This establishes the proper function of the mind and corrects its errors, which are merely lacks of love. Your mind can be possessed by illusions, but spirit is eternally free. If a mind perceives without love, it perceives an empty shell and is unaware of the spirit within. But the atonement restores spirit to its proper place. The mind that serves spirit is invulnerable. Darkness is lack of light, as sin is lack of love. It has no unique property of its own. It is an example of the scarcity belief from which only error can proceed. Truth is always abundant. Those who perceive and acknowledge that they have everything have no needs of any kind. The purpose of the atonement is to restore everything to you, or rather, to restore it to your awareness. You were given everything when you were created, just as everyone was. The emptiness engendered by fear must be replaced by forgiveness. This is what the Bible means by there is no death, and why I could demonstrate that death does not exist. I came to fulfill the law by reinterpreting it. The law itself, if properly understood, offers only protection. It is those who have not yet changed their minds who brought the hellfire concept into it. I assure you that I will witness for anyone who lets me and to whatever extent he permits me. Your witnessing demonstrates your belief and thus strengthens it. Those who witness for me are expressing through their miracles that they have abandoned the belief in deprivation in favor of the abundance they have learned belongs to them. Section 5, Wholeness and Spirit. The miracle is much like the body in that both are learning aids for facilitating a state in which they become unnecessary. When spirit's original state of direct communication is reached, neither the body nor the miracle serves any purpose. While you believe you are in a body, however, you can choose between loveless and miraculous channels of expression. You can make an empty shell, but you cannot express nothing at all. You can wait, delay, paralyze yourself, or reduce your creativity to almost to nothing. But you cannot abolish it. You can destroy your medium of communication, but not your potential. You did not create yourself. The basic decision of the miracle-minded is not to wait on time any longer than is necessary. Time can waste as well as be wasted. The miracle worker, therefore, accepts the time control factor gladly. He recognizes that every collapse of time brings everyone closer to the ultimate release from time, in which the Son and the Father are one. Let me interject something right here. In one of the first couple of lessons, I mentioned something about how our memories, when we have them come up, they are a collapsing of time, bringing you to the moment to re-see, rethink, re-evaluate something you've experienced. And in that way, you cut time in half. And that's part of what it's talking about there, about collapsing time. In those moments, you collapse time down to give yourself extra time to work out whatever needs to be worked out. So let me go back to the sentence right before that. He recognizes that every collapse of time brings everyone closer to the ultimate release from time, in which the Son and the Father are one. Equality does not imply equality now. When everyone recognizes that he has everything, individual contributions to the sonship will no longer be necessary. When the atonement has been completed, all talents will be shared by all the sons of God. God is not partial. All his children have his total love, and all his gifts are freely given to everyone alike. Except ye become as little children means that unless you fully recognize your complete dependence on God, you cannot know the real power of the Son in his true relationship with the Father. The specialness of God's sons does not stem from exclusion but from inclusion. All my brothers are special. If they believe they are deprived of anything, their perception becomes distorted. When this occurs, the whole family of God, or the sonship, is impaired in its relationships. Interjecting here. So basically what that's saying to you is that when you believe that you're deprived of something, or that somebody else is being deprived of something, your perceptions or their perceptions are distorted. And when it occurs, it doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone. Because in holding that belief, you project it out on everyone else around you. That's what that talks about. So when you have those beliefs, it doesn't just impair you, it impairs everyone around you. Because you project what you believe in to be true. Continuing on. Ultimately, every member of the family of God must return. The miracle calls him to return because it blesses and honors him, even though he may be absent in spirit. God is not mocked, is not a warning, but a reassurance. God would be mocked if any of his creations lacked holiness. The creation is whole, and the mark of wholeness is holiness. Miracles are affirmations of sonship, which is a state of completion and abundance. Whatever is true is eternal and cannot change or be changed. Spirit is therefore unalterable because it is already perfect, but the mind can elect what it chooses to serve. The only limit put on its choice is that it cannot serve two masters. If it elects to do so, the mind can become the medium by which spirit creates along the line of its own creation. If it does not freely elect to do so, it retains its creativity potential, but places itself under tyrannous rather than authoritative control.
Isn't it tyrannous?
Tyrannous?
I think the word's tyrannous.
Okay, yeah, I believe you're correct. So, if it does not freely elect to do so, it retains its creative potential, but places itself under tyrannous rather than authoritative control. As a result, it imprisons, because such are the dictates of tyrants. To change your mind means to place it at the disposal of true authority. The miracle is a sign that the mind has chosen to be led by me in Christ's service. The abundance of Christ is the natural result of choosing to follow him. All shallow roots must be uprooted because they are not deep enough to sustain you. The illusion that shallow roots can be deepened and thus made to hold is one of the distortions on which the reverse of the golden rule rests. As these false underpinnings are given up, the equilibrium is temporarily experienced as unstable. However, nothing is less stable than an upside-down orientation, nor can anything that holds it upside down be conducive to increased stability. That is the end of sections 4 and 5. 4 being the escape from darkness, and 5 being wholeness in spirit. So, lesson 7, I see only the past. This idea is particularly difficult to believe at first, yet it is the rationale for all of the preceding ones. It is the reason why nothing that you see means anything. It is the reason why you have given everything you see all the meaning that it has for you. It is the reason why you do not understand anything you see. It is the reason why your thoughts do not mean anything and why they are like the things you see. It is the reason why you are never upset for the reason you think. It is the reason why you are upset because you see something that is not there. Old ideas about time are very difficult to change, because everything you believe is rooted in time and depends on your not learning these new ideas about it. Yet that is precisely why you need new ideas about time. This first time idea is not really so strange as it may sound at first. Look at a cup, for example. Do you see a cup, or are you merely reviewing your past experiences of picking up a cup? Being thirsty, drinking from a cup, feeling the rim of a cup against your lips, having breakfast, and so on. Are not your aesthetic reactions to the cup too based on past experiences? How else would you know whether or not this kind of cup will break if you drop it? What do you know about this cup except what you learned in the past? You would have no idea what this cup is except for your past learning. Do you then really see it? Look about you. This is equally true of whatever you look at. Acknowledge this by applying the idea for today indiscriminately to whatever catches your eye. For example, I see only the past in this pencil. I see only the past in this shoe. I see only the past in this hand. I see only the past in that body. I see only the past in that face. Do not linger over any one thing in particular, but remember to omit nothing specifically. Glance briefly at each subject and then move on to the next. 3 or 4 practice periods, each to last a minute or so, will be enough. So as with the other lessons, it's kind of bringing them all together into one fold, showing how they're all alike, all similar, all the same, and how they all have the basic context that everything you think you know about something may not be true. Everything that you've been taught may not be true. And to question, to look at it, and to recognize that what you are basing things off of are moments in the past. When someone else taught it to you, you experienced something that gave you a reinforcement of pain and suffering if you said or did or ate or drank or whatever it was. And so you learn to curb yourself in that way. These are the things that we've been taught to do. And this is what this is teaching us to undo. I hope you all enjoyed the reading for the day and the sharing that I was guided to share with you. Thank you for joining Alex and I today. My name is Sabrina Reyenga with my husband Alex. And we had Thor and Chance and Stubby and Spaz, and I don't know if we got Willow in here yet, but we also have 2 snakes as well, Cinnamon and Nutmeg. They all want to join us in with our joyous creating of this moment, this experience, and seeing how we're all together as one. Well, everyone, as you see, Alex is having fun taking pictures. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us again. Namaste.